Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you until, I'm probably only here for about an hour today. I got stuff to do. It is what it is. So come on into the show. I know I have to repeat that a few times because there's only a couple people here. But let's get to it. Because this part is just about me and you. It's not about having a crowd to pay attention. If you're new to the show, I say hello to the people who say hello to me. It's a way of strengthening our bond. So let's get to it. You can go right there. Maria, representing North College Hill. Good afternoon. Oh, by the way, if you want to say hi, just say hello, good afternoon, what's up, whatever you want to say. And if you don't mind, let me know where you're checking out the show from. If you're in the Cincinnati area, what neighborhood are you in? If you're outside of the Cincinnati area, well, where are you calling from? Give me the city, the state. Let me know where you're checking us out from. If you're from outside the Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana area, you really can just tell me the state. If you want to say city and state, I would appreciate it. But if you don't, that's cool too. But just let me know. And I'll shout you out. And the general premise is, wherever you're from, you are their representative. So whatever your opinion is, we attribute it to everybody in that area. That's the power of being the representative. So, all right, let's get to it. Lewis Talbert, good afternoon. He's first out the gate. Maria Smith in the house, good afternoon. She's representing North College Hill today. Sierra Brooks, representing Boston. Good afternoon. Regina Denson Griffin, good afternoon. And Fame, who calls himself Edsel. If that's his name, look, if that's really your name, I apologize for laughing. And it won't be funny if I find out it's actually your name. I just don't believe it's your name. I need some ID. But Fame rounding out the top 5. And he says, by the way, it's Edsel, folks. If I ain't first 5, at least, then he gonna tear this MF up. Y'all know I don't cuss, so I'm not reading that cuss word. But you're in the top 5. You were number 5. Thank you guys for being vigilant and being first. I appreciate y'all. Oh, let's see. Valisa, love it. Representing Blue Ash. Good afternoon. Got Andrea Bustle, representing Gulf Manor. Good afternoon. I look like Mission College Dean from School Days. Okay, I don't remember that character, but all right. Oh, let's see. Regina Denson Griffin says, by the way, she's representing Madisonville today. She wanted to be known what they think in Madisonville. Gloria Walker says TGIF, checking in from East Side. Hello. What East Side neighborhood, if you don't mind me asking? Sean D. Nutter. I almost said Napier, but that's somebody else. Representing Atlanta. Good afternoon, Sean. Good afternoon. Fame says, oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. I actually have to take this call, but it'll be quick, I promise. Hold on. Just a moment. Okay, sorry about that. Y'all know that don't normally happen, but let me say, a lovely lady that I grew to love quickly passed away not too long ago, and her homegoing service is tomorrow, and that was about the service, and I have some roles to play in the service, so I had to take that call. All right, where were we at? Gloria Walker, Sean D. Nutter, I remember that. Fame representing Gross Beezy. That's Gross back. Nobody actually calls it Gross Beezy. White Oak, Beavis, and Green. I'm not, okay, we get you. Let's see. We got Wonder Woman, our own Wonder Woman, Jacqueline Carter in the house. She's representing Evanston, by the way. Brenda Early, good afternoon, representing Fairfield. Janice Evans, good afternoon, representing Mainville. You can't beat that. Thank you for checking us out. Daryl Carpenter, say, whoa, you on early today. What's up? And he's representing north of 275. All right. Gloria says Silverton. All right, Gloria. Appreciate you. Kim Moore Eberhardt, representing Bond Hill. Good afternoon. Nikki says, Yo Underwood checking in from Shelly's basement. Wait, why are you typing messages for Yo Underwood to say where he checking in from? That's suspicious. Nikki, thank you for checking out the show. Let's see. I think that's about it. Carolyn Smith in the house. Good afternoon, Carolyn Smith. Candy D, representing Coleraine Township. Good afternoon, Candy D. All right, that's it. That's all the people that said hello so far. And I think I'm gonna cut off the hellos in a few. I know I'm a little early. I intended to start at 5, but I was sitting here. I said, well, why not just start a little early? I had to leave early, so, I figured why not? Diane Huddleston Angel, representing Coleraine Township. Alonzo Clark, representing Madville. All right. How's everybody's doing? How's everybody's week been? Can I tell y'all something? And this is maybe I'll wait. I'll wait till like 5 o'clock. Because, 5 o'clock is when, give people an opportunity to get here. Sierra wants to know, when am I going to help Emanuel Livingston set up his weekly Livingston Report podcast? He's never asked me to do such a thing. But if he asks me, then, yeah, I'll help him out. And his will be better than mine. I'm actually still working on getting mine better. I want that nice orange glow, just so that everything looks orange. I want that. I want the camera to be up there and looking down at me, and I just take up a tiny fraction of the screen, but the overwhelming majority of the screen is nothing. I want that. That's what I'm looking for. I can't seem to figure out how to make that happen. So yeah, I'm trying to improve my show too. I want to be up there with the big boys. They got all the money and all the resources, and they can do all of the tricks. How happy I would be to just have an orange everything that just every once in a while changes. Just, it's orange. It's oranger. It's orangerer. And, it's normal for a couple minutes. It's back orange. I would love for this show to look like that. So I got some work to do. Let's see. Diane said her week been cool. She's retired now and enjoying it. Oh, you can't beat that. Good for you. Jeffrey Williams in the house representing Pleasant Run Farms. Good afternoon, Jeffrey. Got Pat Rogers in the house. Good afternoon, Pat. Good afternoon. Nikki says, my background is nice. Okay. All right. I appreciate that. Sierra says, Linky's white balance settings drive me nuts. It's unwatchable. Why is our veteran radio host Oompa Loompa orange? Now, see, I wasn't even thinking about that. When I watch, I don't even notice it. I don't even notice the orangeosity of it. Black Lion, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I think I already said good afternoon to to Andrea. Troy Scott, good afternoon, representing Pensacola, Florida. Kush Rashid in the house. Good afternoon, Kush. Let me see. And in case, because it is 5 o'clock now, in case you're new, you're just joining. For right now, I'm just saying hello. The way the show works, or at least the way that I like the show to work, is I start off the first few minutes of the show. I say hello to you. You say hello to me. Or really, you say hello first. And then I will say hello to you. You tell us where you're checking out the show from, because you are their representative. So I say hello to you. I shout out your area. And then, we move into the show, which we'll be doing very shortly. Very shortly. Crystal Hoskins says, good afternoon. She's representing her car. Where is your car located? You don't represent the car. Where is the car? That's funny. I don't know why that tickles me when y'all say y'all represent y'all car. Y'all somewhere. I know I said Troy was representing Pensacola, Florida. What's the weather like down there, Troy? What's the weather like in Pensacola? I didn't really go out today. I did class from home, which I never do. So I did class from home. So I went out, took the little baby to school. I did find that this little baby is watching some show. I'm going to have to talk to her mama about it. Watching some show called K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm not into the kids watching demonic stuff. I believe that they be trying to indoctrinate the kids. And so they make all that stuff look fun. Like, y'all remember when the devil had a TV show? What was it called? Oh, he had his own TV show. And he was the hero of the show. The devil. He was the hero of the show. It was his name, Lucifer. It was a show on Fox. The devil had a show and he was the hero. Tell me that's not some indoctrination. Like, hey, it's the devil, but he ain't really a bad guy. He's just kind of misunderstood. Like, what? It's just crazy. So I'm gonna have to talk to the little girl about the little baby and what she watching. I might have to watch it just to see how bad it may or may not be. Now look, once she gets a little older, she make her own decisions about what she watches and all of that kind of stuff. But as a little kid, I don't know. But then again, when I really think about it, when I was a little kid, I watched stuff about, ghosts and demons and bad people and all of that kind of stuff. I watched all that kind of stuff too. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's, something bad. I might have to check it out. Let's see. We got Shirley Ellis Howe in the house representing Westchester. Good afternoon, Shirley. Good afternoon. We got, by the way, Troy said it is hot and humid down there in Pensacola. Cedric Robinson, good afternoon, representing Coleraine Township, Walmart. All right. Specific, but okay. Brian Wagner says Reddington, Florida. All right, Brian. Brian, I like a good spirited back and forth. I'm a little off the books. And I love the fact that We can exchange ideas. We don't have to agree and roll that way. Love it. Love it. But I mean what I said. But I love it. LaDonna, East Price Hill. Good afternoon, LaDonna. Good afternoon. All right. I think that's about it. I'll give it probably another 60 seconds or so for people to get in and say hello. And I'll say hello to you. And then, we'll move on and I'll actually start talking about something. Nick Brown says, hey, everyone. And E-Man, of course. Checking in from beautiful Blue Ash. You can't beat some beautiful Blue Ash. You got to make sure you say that right when you use that beaten blue ash. Because that could go bad. Brenda Bird in the house representing the West Side. Trey. Oh, Trey in the house representing the ATL. Man, I saw you posting some pictures. You all muscle man now. I'm still fat. You know what I'm saying? I feel a certain way. I feel a little insecure. Now I gotta go and get in the gym, or at the very least, not eat as many cakes and cookies. Putting pressure on me. Good to see you, Trey. Good to see you. Bonita representing Roselawn. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. And Crystal said, you told me to be specific and then you didn't read it. I saw it and then it passed me. I'm leaving work, so I'm traveling through different communities. Victory Parkway. All right. I apologize for not reading it. And Steban Speed representing Westwood. All right, let's go. So this has been, believe it or not, this has been a little bit of a trying week. Y'all all know Charlie Kirk got shot. And y'all know my feelings on it. Y'all know some of y'all don't agree. But my feelings on it is, whether he's racist, hateful, vile, horrible, whatever, he shouldn't have been killed. Not for that. I don't believe humans should be out there killing other humans unless it's like in self-defense. And I'll be honest with you. I won't say that I feel bad about it or anything like that. I didn't have nothing to do with it. But I watched the videos and to see, because I'm a human, there is something about watching the last seconds of someone's life that, for me, does something to me. I don't know why. I know why I do it, because I do this. If I didn't do this and we weren't going to have these conversations, I probably would not have watched the video of that man being shot. And you watch a person get shot, whether you like them or whether you don't like them. And I think if you're in touch with your humanity, it does something to you. If I'm walking down the street and a dude next to me gets shot and killed, I don't know him. I don't, feel like, oh my God, what's going on? Oh my God, But he's a human that I just watched die. I'm just saying, for me, that does something to me. So, yeah, for me, for real, I'm always, when I watch all of this stuff and I struggle because I think you can become desensitized to stuff. And I watched the angle from the side. I mean, that wasn't a good angle, Clearly he got shot and he fell over. But then I watched the angle from the other side and you just see the, blood coming out and everything. And you're like, oh my God, that's horrible. That's horrible. Again, I'm only speaking for me. I know some of y'all don't agree. I get it. But for me, I don't want to see one human hurt and harm another human. I'm pretty consistent on that. I'm consistent because I mean it. Like I said, I don't have to like you. There are people out here in this world that I don't really care much for. I wouldn't want to see them die. You know what I'm saying? I mean, literally watched them die. I wouldn't want that. No, that's not. So, yeah, when you watch a lot of this stuff, which, again, I do for this. I've watched stuff. I know some of y'all don't remember this. There was, back in the early 2000s, after September 11th, and there was a couple of videos that I watched that traumatized me. I had to watch them, though. There was a video of a man who they had him in a cage in an orange jumpsuit. Reportedly, the Taliban had him, or whoever, ISIS, or whoever was the boogeyman at that time, had him in a cage. I guess they poured some, flammable liquid and lit it and just lit the man on fire. And I watched a man burn to death. It was horrible. There was another time where there was a man who was being held, by whoever the boogeyman was at the time, and literally watched somebody with what looked like a butcher knife cut this man's head off and then laid a head on his lifeless body. And now, I'm going to be honest, that one shook me so bad. I knew where to find the video, and I was working at the radio station at the time. And a lot of people kept asking me, where can I see the video? Where can I see the video? And look, I understand what I'm going to call morbid curiosity. I understand the idea of seeing a thing that you've never seen before. And it's not like, ooh, I want to watch. Ooh, I want to watch. But it's like, what, really? I don't know. I kind of want to see that. Now, some people are the opposite. Like, I don't want no parts of that. But some people, they want to see it. Not, to celebrate it or anything. There is just this morbid curiosity. And so there were a number of people within the radio station and calling the radio station once they found out that I had seen the video and that I knew where to find the video. And they were like, dude, tell us where the video. I want to watch it. Tell us where to watch the video. And then something in me was like, I'm sorry, I can't. I will not participate in inflicting that kind of trauma on anybody else. And I refused to give people the information. If you want to go find it. So then people were, who are you to tell me what I can't watch? So I'm not telling you what you can or can't watch. I'm telling you what I will or will not provide to you. I ain't never bought a woman a drink in a bar. I don't drink. I'm not giving you no poison. I'm not telling you you can't drink. I'm not going to provide it to you. I ain't never bought no kids no cigarettes. I'm not telling you you can't smoke, but I'm not going to provide them. And I'm not giving you something that traumatized my spirit to traumatize yours. And I'll tell you, people were really, really angry that I was not sharing that information. But I don't know. It's just, as a human, there's just certain things that and for me, again, not a fan. The opposite of a fan, did not like whatsoever Charlie Kirk. I listened to the stuff that he said. My interpretation of it, I think it's the only interpretation that one can have of it, unless you're, just being willfully ignorant, was this man was promoting hate. And you can promote hate in a polite way and still promote hate. We all remember when David Duke took off the sheet and hood and turned into, a kinder, gentler Grand Dragon. And he didn't get out there and scream the N-word and say, hang 'em. He said other stuff that They call them dog whistles now. He said other stuff, but we knew what he was really saying. But I didn't want to see nothing bad happen to him. Well, hold on. Let me be honest. There is, when you see stuff like that, a little tiny part, when people say certain stuff and disregard other people's life and stuff like that, like George Floyd, and he's a scumbag, and so. That man just died, but he a scumbag. That's what you got to say. There's a little part of me that's like, maybe if it happened to you. But I'm not actually wishing it. It's more of a, one of those things where you're like, people who don't have empathy. Because, I found that a lot of people don't really acknowledge stuff until it happens to them. Like, it's not real unless it's happening to them. And just for the record, wasn't the Republicans and conservatives against cancel culture not too long ago? Wasn't they against cancel culture? Wasn't they against PC? Hey, nobody needs to be PC. We all need to be like Donald Trump. Just say what it is. Just say how you feel. Just tell it like it is. Why be nice? Why sugarcoat it? But then, what's his name? Matthew Dowd? He kind of tells it like it is. And, we want him fired. I thought we were against cancel culture. Do y'all not know what cancel culture is? Do you not understand when people say or do things that you don't like, you want to see them punished, you want to see them lose their job, you want to see them, ostracized and all of that kind of stuff? That's cancel culture. Y'all was against cancel culture. Not really, but y'all said y'all were. Well, I'm against it when it's happening to me. When it's happening to somebody else, it's a good thing. It's when we canceling the side that I don't agree with. That's what should happen. People have to be more responsible. Don't be reckless with your words. When it's me saying it, hey, the First Amendment, I can say whatever I want to say, and, people should just grow a pair and deal with it. Now, just for the record, I'm for cancel culture. Because to some extent, this is the way that I view cancel culture. And this is slightly oversimplifying, but this is the way I view cancel culture. You did something I don't like, I don't support you no more. So I'm not watching the NFL. They did something I don't like. They're canceled from my life. Canceled. I don't go out and spend money and support their product. I don't watch it. None of that kind of stuff. I'm okay with people making those decisions. And look, if I could rally millions of people to go along with me, to put pressure on them to change, why not? What? I'm on protest is good. The peaceful withholding of our dollars and support, that's a good thing. That's the way we're supposed to, not the way we're supposed to do it, but that's a very positive way to, potentially see change. And I'm for it. But it's just, I see hypocrisy and and it bothers me. I see hypocrisy and it bothers me. And like I said, watching Amanda, when you think about it, the man's last words, maybe his last thoughts, because, I don't know how instantaneous, the death was, but maybe his last thoughts or his last words. And again, this is my perception. Somebody was asking him about mass shootings and the number of mass shootings, and he's like, not including gang shootings. He wasn't saying that because he's really concerned about gang shootings. He was saying that because there are people who love to push the idea that black people are violent. Well, they're white gangs and Mexican gangs. He wasn't. Y'all can play that game if y'all want to. Y'all can play that game if y'all want to. Come on, we know what he was alluding to. We knew what he was alluding to. He was alluding to the idea that, all these black people killing each other. That was his parting words. The parting thought. I don't know when I'm going to go. I hope it's a long time from now. Like, I'm not one of these people who, want to... Man, look, if I'm in the bed, in the coma, and I need machines to do every function of my body, don't take me off. Leave me here for the next 1,000 years if my body will do it. The next 1,000 years, I like sleep. You know what I'm saying? Let me sleep for the next 1,000 years. I'm going to live a nice long life, but you never know. But I hope that my last thoughts and my last words are not some way to continue to push a racist narrative. I hope that's not the way, I go out. I hope it's not. My last words to be something like, be the reason that somebody smiled today. You know what I'm saying? Don't let the bad days win. I want something like that, something inspirational. That's what I want to be my last words, not some thinly veiled hatred. Hey, let's push some stereotypes and just go out pushing stereotypes. I don't want that to be the case. But that's kind of, that's been the week. That's been the week. What day did that happen? Was that like Tuesday? Tuesday, Wednesday? It feel like that's all that's been going on all week because the way that it's been covered. And I know some people I don't understand why they cut. Who was he? He wasn't nobody important. Don't give him the time of day. Like, look, y'all can say he wasn't nobody important. He was very influential. He was very influential with young people. He was very influential in conservative circles. I watched him fake debate because I call what he was doing fake debate. It's not real debate. He twisted facts and statistics and all of that kind of stuff till they didn't even look like what they actually were. But I watched him over in, I want to say it was England or something like that, fake debating people. He was known internationally. He raised a lot of money for that daggone Trump. Helped to get him elected. And if you are raising a whole lot of money and bringing a whole lot of, a big block of voters, trust me when I tell you, you have influence. You have influence. Hey, Taria. Taria says, hey, man. Hey, Taria, I need to talk to Quincy. It's almost that time for me to be, you know what I'm saying? I need to hook a brother up. No, I do. I need to talk to him though. But I'll reach out to you. But it's good to see you here. But yeah, it's he was very influential. So it's not one of those things where, because for real, it's easy to diminish him. I mean, it really is easy. It's easy to diminish him as just a vile, vulgar, and when I say vulgar, not necessarily the words that he spoke, but the ideas that he spewed, a vile, vulgar, hateful, racist guy. But he had influence. As you can tell by the wall-to-wall coverage of him being shot. How many people been shot since Wednesday? We're not talking about them. We're not talking about them. So understand, he really was influential. He really was. And again, I'm going to reiterate. And here's why I keep reiterating this. Not to sound like some good guy. But I would love to see humanity come back. I would love to see empathy come back. I would love to see just general goodwill come back. And I don't think it's look, you don't have to care. I'm not saying, oh, you should be broken up. I'm not saying you should even be thinking about it. But I think most of us can agree it's not good to be killing people because you don't agree with them. And then, of course, we find the person, that they say did it. They find the person that they say did it. And I kind of said this yesterday. How many of us were surprised? How many of us were surprised? Show of hands. I don't know anybody that was actually surprised. Like there's no part of me that thought even for a second, like that might have been a brother. Like, no, I never considered it as not even for a millisecond. No. I was fairly certain when I first heard of it, like some Caucasian guy shot that man. And they gonna catch him. Honestly, I didn't think, this is kind of a sad part for me. At the age of 22, that's the way we dealing with disagreements. I mean, it is, but that's not good. It's not a good thing that, some 22-year-old heard the stuff that he was saying and said, what did they say he wrote on the bullet? Catch this? That's not good. That was one of the reports that I read, that somewhere he wrote on a bullet or something like that, catch this. And Daryl brings up a point. I'm not gonna lie. If that was my son, I don't know that I'd have turned him in. I'm not saying I'd have hit him. I'm not saying I'd have gave him some money and told him, get out this country. I don't know that I would have turned him in. But, I don't know if that's responsible. I wouldn't have had him out there on them streets, though. Because if they would have just caught him, depending on who caught him, they did something to him. So I wouldn't have just had him out there on them streets, but I don't know if I would have been the person who called the FBI and said, yeah, my son is the one who y'all looking for a capital crime that y'all 100% gonna turn into a federal case. I don't know that I got that. Now, I might have. But I don't think so. I think somebody else would have had to be the one to say, I know him. I can tell you where he is. But for me to call and be like, you know that boy y'all looking for? That's my son. He's at the house right now. Yeah, I'll bring him in. Ooh, I don't know. Will he get the reward? I don't know. I mean, I guess theoretically he should. If you offer an award for information that leads to the arrest and then I turn my boy in, I should get the reward. But I don't know if they do that. Nat Turner, he says, being racist is not a difference of opinion. No, I'm talking about whether it's a difference of opinion or not. I'm talking about if you don't agree with him. So not agreeing with somebody is not as simple as a difference of opinion. I don't agree with the ideology of a racist. And there's, oh, he just got different opinions. Like, no, I think he's vile. But you can't just run around killing people because you don't agree with their ideology. Raven says his father was, we have a celebrity in the house. I need an alarm or something. I think they turned off. Hold on, let me see something. Yeah, they turned off my stuff where, if I make a gesture, so I can't even do the fireworks no more when a celebrity comes on. I need some sort of alert when celebrities are here. Raven Mundy says his father was likely a Charlie Kirk supporter. I'm sorry, I'm your daddy first. I'm your daddy first. But, I mean, I can't say it's the wrong thing to do. And again, I can't say that I wouldn't do it. I hope I'm never in a position to make that kind of decision. That's why I be trying to raise my kids right. I try to raise my kids to, not be murdering people. And then I don't have to worry about turning them in for murder. But I don't know, this whole thing, it's all kind of messed up. And then you got to worry about, because they say all of the people in Congress, now they're all scared. Like, oh, is somebody going to do something to us? And I think that's a legitimate fear because there are a lot of people out here who kind of worshiped that guy. I think I'm crazy, but there are a lot of people out here who worshiped that guy. Because he was saying, to some degree, what they want to say, what they think, what they feel. He was saying it. So they didn't have to say it. They just had to support him. So they worship that guy. And they thought, Some people are talking about, hey, basically, it's on. That's how we doing it. Okay, it's on. Let's get it. That was the first shot in a war and all of that nonsense. So now, you know what I'm saying, you out in these streets, you really got to be, if, you know, you're some person of some profile, you got to be careful. That security better be, is Kamala Harris still on her book tour? And, you know, Trump then took away her Secret Service detail. In California, they've taken away her security detail that they gave her. So, yeah. And then all the people, because there are people like, this is a distraction. This is all a distraction. What are they distracting us from? What do you think they're distracting us from? Hold on, the phone is ringing. Let's go to the phones. CK.
Hey.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, man, great show, man. I was listening to your platform, and you said they're willing to pick up. They said that's how we planning now, and they're trying to get violent. The white people are trying to get violent toward the black, or what are they talking about?
Well, yes, there is definitely an uneasiness. My HBCU, Alabama State University, had to basically close down and, you know, be on lockdown because of, you know, threats and things of that nature, along with a few more. There are people who are making these threats, and you got to take it serious. So, yes, there is definitely a feeling of uneasiness going around because violence is in the air. Deadly violence is in the air.
Well, you have to remember that the people he was talking about and he was putting his anger against is not the people that took his life. It was his own people. That's what I want him to realize. Don't blame us.
Well,
we had nothing to do with that homicide, son.
Well, he can't realize it because he's no longer with us. But the people who support him.
Y'all do have to keep talking about him like he's still alive. You got me on that yesterday when I said I said it and you called me out on it yesterday. Like, does he have to really deal with what he did? You said he's dead. He don't have to deal with nothing.
But the people, some of the people, not all of the people, some of the people who supported him, it ain't even really about the person who did it. You ever been in a situation, and I'm going to just be honest.
Okay.
I've been in situations where I was irritated about something, and I'm telling you, I've gone into work, and you know how it's one of them days like, oh, I wish somebody would today. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, oh, please, I'm walking in 5 minutes late. I want somebody to say something about me being late. Say something. Go ahead.
I was 35 minutes late today, and I got paid yesterday.
Serious eye contact, like, please, say something. Say something, because I'm just looking for somebody to go off on. That's the situation. It's not about who did it and who's the actual person to blame. I'm mad because, number one, I'm hurt. Number two, I'm filled with hate. And number three, I'm a violent person. So I'm mad, and the people that I hate, oh, I wish one of y'all would. Oh, my goodness. Okay, no, you didn't do it, but I bet you happy about it, so you gonna get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's that kind of mentality. It's not about who actually did it.
Right, and then like this, the greatest hurt I had of celebrity proudness of people I didn't know is Tupac, right? Who the hell am I gonna get mad at for killing Tupac? Just imagine, give me that same anger. Now, who the hell I'm gonna kill? Just go at the store. What I'm gonna do? Shoot up in hood? Who are you gonna direct your anger at? Hey,
I don't know.
You see what I mean?
I do.
He got smoked just like dude got smoked. There's nobody to blame. They got themselves killed. Just like Tupac, him, the rhetoric, the actions is what led to their demise. There is no one to blame, sir. You have to blame the victims for their death, even though they're victims of homicide.
I don't know if I
Do
agree
you?
with that. I don't. You don't have to blame the victims for their death.
If Chadwick
The
wasn't
only
doing the
way.
things he was doing,
Hold on.
he
The
would still be
only.
alive, sir.
I'm disagreeing with you. The only way that I say
Okay.
you blame the victim for their death, if somebody attacked me, and in order to save my life, I have to take their life, they get the blame for their death. Pretty
Right.
much. Other than that, you can't blame the victim. You got to blame the person
Hold
who
on, hold
did
on,
it.
hold on. Sir, your father is a great man. I cannot be out here disparaging your father's good name. If by circumstance I criticize him publicly and I am murdered behind criticizing your father, it's on me, Jack.
No. No,
I
because
didn't have the right to criticize your deceased
you
father.
do. That's
He is
just it.
somebody.
You
Dude, that's
do.
what I'm trying to
No,
tell you. I don't.
you
I
do.
don't.
But you do.
Don't you understand? Chadwick is no longer with us because he thought like you. He thought he had the right to talk about South Side black people getting smoked. No. If you're going to talk about those people, you have to talk and, hey, love those people. Rest in peace. You don't criticize them because you don't know about the pain, the suffering, and your own people will kill you for making fun of them black people. That's the danger, sir. You must take responsibility for your own death. You put the rhetoric out there. I had no reason to disrespect your father. What did your daddy do to me?
It doesn't.
Pastor Livingston is a good person.
It doesn't matter. You got a right to say what you want to say.
And they got a right to shoot me in my neck when I make a speech
No,
disrespecting
that's
your
just it.
dad.
No, that's not the way it works. And believe it or not, and I know, again, I still believe you be playing a character. That's fine.
This is Chadwick.
Believe it or
You
not,
got me out of... Okay.
believe it or not, there's a lot of people who believe that way. There's a lot of people who feel that way. I got a right to put hands on you if you say something I don't like. I got a right to put hands on you if you say something about my mama. I got a right to... No. I got a right to say whatever I want to say. If you don't like it, walk away. Say something back. Whatever. You don't have a right to harm me because you don't like my words.
And Chadwick is gone because Emanuel is one person. His daddy had multiple family members attached to him. So Emmanuel's law don't cover the rest of the people I might offend in the family that might go get that silencer and put that bullet in my neck and bust the artery. So you can't control. I'm telling you the law of the land. You're talking to me. You're just making up something. I'm saying if you disrespect deceased people, Emmanuel can't control what his other family members going to do to me. Homicide, murder, torture.
Doesn't make them right. And I'm talking about right and wrong.
Yeah, it's about natural. The world is not built on right or wrong. It's built on what happens. Chadwick is gone because he thought like you. Stop teaching people to think like you and teach them to think like me. Have respect for the deceased, and you will live longer. This is a tremendous disrespect that is costing a lot of people their lives on the internet. A lot of people are smoking on dead people. They're disrespecting dead people. You shouldn't do it. I wouldn't even disrespect Hulk Hogan. Livingston. I don't like Hulk.
You disrespected Charlie Kirk.
Who the hell is Charlie Kirk?
All right. Hey, man, I appreciate your call. I appreciate your call,
You
man.
always get me out that character cover because you got me out the character yesterday when you was like, so how did you know Chadwick? Yeah, you do get me out of character sometimes, but hey, man, hey, you have a blessed weekend, man, and great call, man, but we just fundamentally on the opinions, but I think we both made some great points, man, and I respect you, man. Thank you, brother.
All right. All right, that was CK. 513 717-KING. In case you didn't know, the reason why it's King is because I'm the king of talk. There is none higher. Sucker MCs should call me sire. To burn my kingdom, you must use fire, and I won't stop talking till I retire. I'm the king of talk. 513-717-KING. That's 513-717-5464. If you would like to share your thoughts. How was your week? Do a little week in review. You tell me, how was your week? What issues are you either dealing with? What happened good? What happened bad? What happened in your life? How are you doing? Y'all know my new thing is, don't let the bad days win. And even if you liked Charlie Kirk, you have some bad days. But don't let the bad days win. Don't let the bad days win. Let's see. And here in Cincinnati, a lot of people, if you're not from Cincinnati, you're not in Cincinnati, Cincinnatians voted for to sell a railroad. Yes, Cincinnati owned a whole railroad. And Cincinnatians voted to sell a whole railroad. And, they got some money for it. And supposedly that money is making a whole lot of money. And that money is supposed to be for infrastructure, mainly for roads and things of that nature. Because y'all remember all the promises that they made? They wasn't just going to pave the streets. They was going to pave the streets with gold. They was going to have so much money. It's right here in Cincinnati. We was going to be riding around on gold streets. They didn't actually say that. I made that up. I'm exaggerating. But they did promise, look, we've been behind in doing all of this road work. We didn't have enough money. We just had a small little budget. But once we get this money in, and we're going to make a lot of money. Once we get this money in, man, we going to fix these roads. We going to fix up. What else was they going to fix up? They was going to fix up all of the fire departments and all of the parks and everything. And I heard Mr. Lincolnware asking this question. Has your road been paved? Have you seen them paving the road? I see a lot of work going on here and there causing traffic jams. But I haven't seen roads being repaved. Yes, I have seen some potholes filled towards the end of the summer. Which is just, why you wait until early September to fill a pothole? It's about to get cold and expand and contract, and that stuff is going to be a pothole again. But I'm asking, I don't know, but I'm asking, anybody seen any roads being repaved? Because I'm not seeing it. Now, I know somebody going to be like, oh, you drive up 75, they doing a lot of work. That's not the city of Cincinnati railroad money at work. Linda says they're fixing the roads up around Kenwood Town Center. Is that actually, though, in Cincinnati? Is Kenwood in the city of Cincinnati proper? I don't know why. I don't think it is. I don't know, because y'all know me. I get stuff wrong. And as I've heard a lot of y'all complain, man, you just can't stand to be wrong. He always got to be right. It's very true. That's why when I say stuff, I check it out, because I don't want to be wrong. I'm telling you, I still don't understand those of you who are like, ooh, I want to be wrong today. I don't understand y'all, but again, to each his own. Let's look it up. I don't think Kenwood. Let's see. No, Kenwood is not within the city limits of Cincinnati. Right. I thought it was Samuel. I thought so, but I was like, I don't want to say it and then, be wrong. And then people be correcting me. You know how y'all do. Gotta correct somebody. No, I do. I like it when people correct me, so. But yeah, why they got money to repave stuff? They didn't even have a railroad. You know what I'm saying? Y'all telling me y'all making, almost $100 million in interest? And y'all can't fix no streets? I don't like that. Brian.
Hey, what's happening, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I've been listening on and off now that you kind of are trying to make your way back, figure out your new schedule. So I got a controversial take.
Okay.
I think that, and this is no offense to anybody who hears this who feel like I'm talking about them, but I may be talking about you. I don't mean offense, though. Too many Christian schooled, oppressed people feel obligated to be out in front and condemn when somebody who's an enemy is killed off script.
Okay.
Sometimes we can just not say anything. We don't have to say anything. We don't have to be out front. And I can give you some examples, but when I was elsewhere in the world fighting something, if somebody who was the head of the apartheid regime would have got clapped, I would not have shed a tear, nor would I have been sorry. That's not the same thing as, in a hypothetical world, feeling sorry for sad people who share his bloodline. But it's fake when we hear these politicians and all these other people talk about their deep sympathies and stuff. It's just bullshit. I'm sorry. It's not true. Well, most of them don't feel that way. Now,
hold on. Let me disagree with you. Well, I don't know that I'm going to actually disagree with you. I think what all these politicians and whatnot who are, opposite from him, I think, yes, they're kind of just saying what they're supposed to say. But I do think that they have to push the narrative of no political violence because they're in the line of maybe suffering at the hands of some political violence. And so, they can't go up there like, he deserved it, blah, 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 because what's going to happen is...
You're right, but that's not, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. And that's not my position per se. But what my point is that far too often, and we just had a recent example with the politician who was killed 3 months ago, where there are no tears. There aren't even thoughts and prayers in real time. And I'm not talking as one party or another. I'm talking as somebody who considers himself a revolutionary and feels like we have to get to something deeper than the framework that both these parties set. So, for example, after all these police killings, when somebody offed one in Dallas, I was one of the leaders of the protests here, and the news kept coming to me, do you condemn what they did to this police? And I said, hell no, I don't, because I don't. I'm not for the tactics that were necessarily used, just like I'm not necessarily for somebody driving around. You know, I'm not trying to get into the tactics of what an individual does. I would rather take this, like they take this moment to make their political points. I would like to take moments like this as a people and use it to make our points, which is the type of society that we live in. I don't issue blanket condemnations of violence because self-defense is often coined as a type of violence. And I believe in vigorous self-defense. Furthermore, I think that for our people to get free eventually, there will be some offense necessary. So I don't condemn political violence per se. I think it's case by case. I think it depends on many different scenarios that are that need to be analyzed and discussed as it happens. And I just think we're too fast to run out in front, which gives them fuel to the fire, because it, in a certain sense, lends audience to their claims that somehow we are responsible. And when I say we, I mean a much bigger we than I usually talk about. We means everybody who's not these ultra-right white nationalists. We, in this rare occurrence of my using it, means Democrats, people who are everybody else. They all get blamed, and they're all quick to apologize in such a way that they feel partially culpable. Now, I get what you're saying about you don't want, and I agree, we don't want a climate where you can't have open debate. But we also have to point out that this climate was created by them. Those who want to burn and make books illegal while you keep firearms. And I'm not for banning arms per se, but let's be serious. Like they're hypocrites. That's the point. They're hypocrites, and we don't have to play into their scenario as it pertains to violence, acts of violence, and situations where people get killed, unfortunately. It's like you take, for example, unionists get killed all the time. I was a coal miner for years. Coal miners got killed because of decisions that a company made. None of those CEOs ever went to jail, were ever even charged. Nobody was charged.
Okay.
Deaths, killings happen all the time. Construction workers died in the making of the FC Stadium. Everything they want to remember, every time, remember 9/11, never forget. No one ever talks about those construction workers that were killed for the FC Stadium. FC doesn't recognize it. They don't do an annual thing. The kids who've been killed in these school shootings, nope, there's no any serious remember for them. Or if it is, it's tied to some political campaign or somebody who's trying to run for office. It's just the whole thing, we have to just reject it is what I'm getting at, and start to create our own line in moments like this. Whatever it is, you don't have to agree with me. You have your own. But when things like this happen, think about what lies behind them, and don't feel obligated to submit to what people think you should submit to in the false name of humanity, in the false name of civility, because they're savages. They are savages. They are savages. We tend to, and when I say we, I mean this greater we that aren't white supremacists, tend to be the people who care about human beings and human lives. In every facet you could point out. So that's the only thing I want to just get at is just we got to be careful about this idea of condemning blanket violence. Yes, I understand why the politicians did it. I don't necessarily agree with them, but we can't put ourselves in the box of condemning blanket violence, because do you condemn the slave revolts who may have put a razor to somebody's neck at night to get free. Well, we have a razor on our necks right now. So does that dude who did that act, is he the same as that? Of course not. I'm just saying in general, be careful about blanket condemning stuff like this because they are happy to use violence. They use it all the time. They incite it all the time. And they want to do everything possible to make sure that the instruments of defense never make it to your hands, whatever they are. I don't even necessarily mean physical instruments, although including physical instruments. But anything that has to do with you taking knowledge of yourself and defending yourself when in the course of attack. See, the narrative, and this is the last thing I'll say, I'm sorry I'm babbling. They want to create a narrative where any time that one of theirs again, not meaning white people in general, but meaning these supremacist types, anytime one of theirs is lost, they want to make that the beginning of the story, whether it's here, whether it's in Gaza, no matter where it is. And we have to reject that and start to think for ourselves. I'll just stop there, brother. I'm sorry I went off, and I'll just be sitting back listening.
I appreciate it.
No doubt.
All right. To a very large degree, almost completely, I agree with what he's saying. Let me. If I wasn't doing this, I don't know that I would have said anything about it. I don't know that I would have mentioned it, meaning the killing of Charlie Kirk. I don't know that I would have mentioned it. But there's a part of me that understands some of the people who are, some of it does give me, we got shot, master you vibes. Some of it does give me those vibes. But I understand look, if I'm sitting there, because this happens to me, when I finally do decide to go on social media and I look through my feed and I see a lot of stuff, and if something just jumps out and it vexes me, I'm going to respond to it. So I'm not necessarily, and this ain't necessarily what Brian was talking about, but I saw somebody, I think it was Tanika, was basically saying, to all of these black Christians who, and some of them are irritating me, who are kind of making excuses and, almost crying and like you wouldn't believe over this guy and, condemning this and condemning that. You don't have to do that. You really could just not say anything. You know how you feel. But I also understand at the same time, if you see things, and like I was talking about my humanity earlier, and it just messes with your spirit to see people doing this and acting. How many things I see on a regular basis that I could just not say anything about, but I can't help it. I gotta respond to it because it works my nerves. So I see both sides. I think if I wasn't doing this, though, I probably wouldn't be, I condemn violence and so on and so forth. I probably wouldn't. I think I'm in, I won't say it's a unique position, because you know how many people are doing podcasts that are much more successful than me? So but I do, and I liked the point that he made. Like, they're running around talking about this is the first shot. But yeah, no, you're right. Where your suffering begins does not begin the story. There's a whole history of suffering in the story. So, I can't take a whole bunch of issue with anything that Brian said. But I will say this. Brian said they're savages. And let's not argue. There are some people who are on those extremes who are savages. I mean, these are the same. They may not be the same individuals, but they have the same mentality and the same ideology of the people who dragged people out of their houses and lynched them. And that's, I don't know how else you could describe that other than being a savage. And not that Brian said this, but I want to be clear. But we can't turn into savages to fight their savagery. Because then we all savages. And then what becomes the difference? And I know that you know, that sounds like some sellout stuff. Because saying it sounds a little, and I don't like that. But it's the truth. If you have to become the bad guy to beat the bad guy, you really just replaced one bad guy with another bad guy. And in some of these instances, we have to be better. Oh, I hate that I said it. But y'all know hopefully y'all know what I'm saying. In some of these instances, we have to be better. Or I guess I should say, some of us have to be better. I don't know. The whole thing is wild. The whole thing is crazy. Because some 22-year-old apparently was fed up with it. Janice, why are you screaming at me? I'm not talking about in defense. I'm talking about on the offense. And that's why I said some of us. We need people on the offense as well. If all you're doing is playing defense, a lot of times you're just backing up. So I don't believe that, but yeah, Samuel Campbell Jr. said Melania would say be best. Yeah, when it came out, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Again, 513-717-KING, 513-717-5464. And just to be clear, you don't have to agree with me to call in. I will listen to you if we disagree, and we can dialogue. Will says, what are your thoughts on FC canceling the barbecue spot? I'm not shocked by that at all. I think I'm not shocked by that at all. I don't agree with it. It's like a knee-jerk reaction. It's, but this really does become a matter of, okay, you said something that I didn't like. So me and all the people who don't like it raise a big stink about it. And then corporation sees it and says, oh, it's a whole lot of people really mad about this. We got to do something about it. And so they respond. because they're being vocal. And yes, Darnell, it is still that cancel culture that they say they don't like. But they're 100% behind it. They want it now. Like, I'm against cancel culture. I'm against all this political correctness. What? He said something I don't like. Let's cancel them. But again, I just think, y'all remember not too long ago, I'm gonna rub some people the wrong way. I want to say I apologize, but it is what it is. I was talking about taking a stand and not necessarily pledging your undying, unyielding, unfailing, forever support for politicians. You got to make them work for it. I don't know that a lot of people understand. I don't know that a lot of people understand that there's power in coming together. And we understand when we see it, like, oh, they caved into them people. But we don't understand it enough to do it sometimes. Daryl says it wasn't FC canceling the barbecue spot. It's a co-owner who was bought out. Well, then maybe I read the story wrong. Because my understanding of the story was, FC was canceling their relationship with that barbecue spot until they got rid of the owner. And then once they got rid of the co-owner, if you want to say it, then maybe they changed their mind. But if they would have stood their ground and said, hey, he got a right to freedom of speech, they would have no longer had a relationship with FC Cincinnati. So to me, that's the same as, oh, y'all canceled them. But maybe I read the story wrong. It's possible. It's possible. Ed says South Park even took their episode off spoofing this dude. And I just watched, I told you I watched that episode with South Park. Will says they canceled the contract with that vendor. Then the restaurant got rid of the contract owner, from what I understand. And that was what I understood as well. Co-owner, yeah. That was what I understood as well. But again, look, I acknowledge that I could have misread the story. Y'all know I'll be busy. I got all day to be reading stories. I got other stuff to do. That Mrs. Livingston, she is not one for nonsense, right? So she don't be following that nonsense. She was not aware of Charlie Kirk. And we watched that South Park episode. And so when he got killed, I was saying, that's the guy that South Park was spoofing. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, remember the one character was, setting up, talking about prove me wrong, and then just saying incendiary stuff and talking about how he owned people. But then Cartman got mad because he's like, oh, he's, stealing my shtick. That's my thing. And, then Cartman took over. Like, that's who they were talking about. She was like, oh, I didn't even know. So I'm like, yeah. Was it good? It was pretty good. It was. It was funny, thought-provoking. They've been really mainly because I've been agreeing with them. They've been on point this season so far. Now, if I wasn't agreeing with them, I'd be like, they've been on some bull this season. But I've been agreeing with them so far. I kind of figured they was going to have to take that episode down. Okay, 513-717-KING, 513-717-5464. That's the number to get on board. Ooh. Oh, y'all, it's kind of late. I got to get out of here. I gotta call this gentleman back about this service. Let me say, as I prepare to get out of here, because I do have to go. As I prepare to get out of, and I know some of y'all like, but I thought the show came on at 6 o'clock. You only been on 14 minutes. Like, no, I came on just before 5. And I did announce that I had to leave early. There's a wonderful lady who passed away. I don't want to say her name because I didn't say anything to the family that I was going to be mentioning her. And, you know, I try to be respectful and all of that kind of stuff. But there was a wonderful lady who passed away not too long ago, and her episode is her episode. I'm sitting here reading Tanika's comment, and her service is tomorrow, and I am, you know, helping and a part of the service. So, but I just want to say, and I'll ask the family. So maybe on Monday I'll actually mention her name. But I'll just say I'm a miss the first lady. I'm a miss the first lady. I loved seeing her when I went to church. She always made me give her a hug. When I say she made me, like, it's not like I wasn't gonna do it, but I wasn't gonna not do it. She was gonna make sure of that. And, you know, she would, you know, said, that's my pastor. You don't know, you are my pastor. And I'd be like, I ain't no preacher. She'd be like, you are my pastor. So I really, really enjoyed the short relationship that I had an opportunity to have with her. And, you know, as they lay her to rest, I'll be sad. But, you know, of course, it's a part of life, you know. Death is a part of life. People are here for a short amount of time, and then they're gone. And you have to enjoy people while they're here, because you never know. Tanika says, do I know her? I don't think you do. But yeah, you never know when someone's not going to be here anymore. And I really did. I enjoyed every week that she was able to make it, and I was able to get my hug. And I would tell her, you know, when I'm getting my hug, can I get my kiss in today? And kiss her on the little cheek. She was a good lady. She was a good lady. And so, you know, just hoping that the family, well, I know that the family will be okay. But sending condolences to the family and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I have to go tend to some stuff with regards to that. And I promised him I would call him in an hour, and it's been just over an hour. So I need to call him and, you know, make sure that I can get everything that he needs taken care of. Look, y'all, get out there if you feel like it this weekend and enjoy it. It's supposed to be good weather. So get out there and enjoy the weather. Oh, in Clifton on Saturday, I think around 9 o'clock. I think they said they'll be on Ludlow. But there's a band that I'm pretty sure I'm joining. I won't be singing with them, but they will be performing some good old school R&B music. The Remember Band, if you're familiar with them, they will be over in Clifton. I think it's Clifton Days or something like that. They're going to, you know, do whatever they do over there. But this particular band is going to be playing Saturday at 9 o'clock on the stage in Clifton. And I'm sorry, I'm not 100% sure where they'll be, but I'm certain you'll be able to find it because they're going to be playing live music. So if y'all get an opportunity, go check them out. And if you see me hanging out, say hi. Say hi to me. All right? Get out there, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the weather. As always, as you go about your weekend, be the reason that somebody smiles this weekend. But somebody don't understand what I mean when I say that. All I'm saying when I say that is make somebody smile. You should be the reason somebody, why is he smiling? He's smiling because of me. Why is she smiling? She's smiling because of me. Be the reason that somebody smiles this weekend. And things are hard sometimes. We have good days, we have bad days. Whatever you do, don't let the bad days win. Till next time, I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'm out, y'all. Peace.